Hey, hockey puck.
You having fun in there? Huh? You having fun in that sandbox?
I love VR. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you love VR too. But what sucks about VR is that most developers don't really know how to approach it. The marketplace is saturated with short demos, 2-hour experiences, and fun, albeit usually shallow multiplayer games. But by far, the worst offender in the mid-VR games category is the Sandbox. A sandbox game is an experience where variety, creativity, and lack of a goal takes precedence over a campaign or other curated journey. The game gives you a bunch of tools with which to goof around, and basically tells you to make your own fun. This is bullshit. If I wanted to make my own fun, I'd set firecrackers off in the Burger King toilet. I personally think sandbox games kinda suck mega ass, and campaign-based games are way better, and honestly just all around more fun. Despite their allowance for creativity and mod support, VR sandbox games are a blight on the industry because they sacrifice quality campaigns and oversaturate the market. Let's dive right into it.
Soda drinker.
Bonelab is a prime example of a game sacrificing its campaign on a fucking altar for a sandbox. Boneworks is my favorite VR game of all time, and it's not even close, and a big reason for that is its campaign. Yeah, Boneworks has a sandbox, but it also packs a meaty 18-ish hour campaign with some of the best visuals, music, level design, and lore ever in a video game. So while I waited for Bonelab to release, I was really excited about digging my way through another sick, super long campaign, but when I got my disgusting bacon-eating hands on it, I came to a horrible, sickening realization. That shit was like 5 hours! And a third of it's not even good! Fuck the 8.5 I gave it. Knock that shit down to an 8 just for that. God damn. When I finished the game, I shed a single tear like a fucking cartoon character. Not because of the emotional climax or anything, but because I just realized I wasted 3 years and $40 on the VR campaign equivalent of a beta fish. Turns out, Bonelab has an absolutely insane and pretty admirable amount of sandbox content. Brandon Latch, the lead developer himself, even stated that Bonelab was built with a sandbox-first mindset. This content, sandbox content that is pretty fun thanks to Bonelab's great combat and art direction. However, people loved Boneworks for its campaign, and to see Bonelab snuff that out almost entirely sucks a little bit. By prioritizing sandbox elements, a game like Bonelab loses out on aspects of game design that I find way more enjoyable: level design, set pieces, environmental storytelling, and character progression. Bonelab isn't a bad game, but for my taste, it could have been so much better if it had just had a more even split between sandbox and story. My complaints here, though, are fucking microscopic compared to the tomfoolery that is.
Soda drinker.
When I made my top 5 VR games video, a dozen or so comments were asking where Blade and Sorcery was, and I told them the same thing every time. Blade and Sorcery is not a game. It is a really fun, really shallow medieval torture simulator, and until it has some sort of campaign, I can't include it in the list. They kept whining, and whining, and whining, and I said, no. And I said enough. B&S is bullshit because it circumvents a campaign altogether, instead opting for a complete sandbox approach. If you want to play B&S, you have 3 options. Play the really tedious and not fun at all auto-generated dungeons, play a fun but shallow survival mode, or play full open-ended where you can spawn in enemy waves. That does not qualify as a game. And if Blade and Sorcery wasn't fun on a base level, I wouldn't have as much of a problem, I just wouldn't play it. But it has amazing combat, which would be really awesome if it was used in a campaign. Legendary Tales absolutely sweeps Blade and Sorcery because it has depth. It's got planned out dungeons, shop systems, character progression, and an actual motivation and purpose. Both games give me a weapon, but only one of them makes me interested whatsoever in swinging it. Worse still, Blade and Sorcery's success inspired several promising titles to veer into sandbox land. Sport Mode, Cube, H3 VR, Hellsplit Arena, and many more take a very similar design approach, where the player mostly just fucks around. Take H3 VR for example. Fun game with great gun mechanics, but outside of a few short missions, these mechanics are entirely wasted on sandbox stuff. I guess I shouldn't say wasted, but rather not used to their full potential without a campaign. To a lesser extent, all these 2-hour demos I hate so much could be considered sandbox, because none of them are long enough to really utilize their mechanics in any way outside of hollow tomfoolery. This has been a very rambly, barely scripted, and borderline schizophrenic alcoholic video, so let me wrangle in what I actually, want from developers.
Soda drinker.
I love linear single-player campaigns. That is my favorite game structure, bar none. The best creativity is creativity within limitations, and a campaign structure is perfect for that. Level design, a fair but demanding challenge, character progression, and banger boss battles and set pieces are all great features of campaigns and absent features of sandboxes. I want more Boneworks campaigns, Alex campaigns, Vertigo 2 campaigns. And look, I get it. Those are hard to do, especially as a small VR team, and modding support lends itself better to sandboxes. But as a developer, and this goes out for me as a dev too, working on my own projects, if you want to stand out, make something people will hail as a cult classic, and satisfy the psychopathic small YouTube man, for the love of God, do not make a sandbox. Use your core mechanics, technical talent, and passion to make a curated experience people will love. Not all games need to last forever. The best games, the best things, end. Thank you for watching. I say this like every time I release a video, but there's so much I have planned for this channel, and thank you for the support thus far, especially on the last video, like holy shit. Live action cooking video soon, hopefully maybe music soon, and some reviews and essays I am very excited to work on more. I'm throwing curveballs left and right. Ugh. So stay tuned, dipshits. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in your dreams.